It will create an anchor, the anchor to be present, very important, so that you become more aware, that the mind won't drift away to the future and to the past, because when we worry, when we overthink, we mainly think about the future or the past, or we are worrying about certain things and we are not present and aware anymore. And we got bothered by these problem points. So then we use B3 to still our mind. So B3 makes us present. Very important, because we cannot breathe into the future and we also cannot breathe into the past. So this will be your new tool. Not only for when you are sitting on your meditation cushion, but also when you do your daily activities. And by staying here, as I told you, it will remain yourself in the present moment, in the here and the now. So now let's continue with the second breathing technique. So the second breathing technique is a deep inhalation and a deep exhalation. So first we will start with B3 again, and then we will combine B2. So are you ready? So you can close your eyes again, sit comfortably again, and now try to upright your spine as well. Try to sit actively. So don't lean against the back of your chair. Try to sit actively. That's very important. Okay, now close your eyes. Starting with B3. So right away, focus on the inside of your nostrils. Your new home base, your anchor. And while doing this, you probably notice that you become a little bit more calm already. Now let's breathe in deeply and breathe out deeply. You keep focusing on the inside of your nostrils. Just breathe in deeply, breathe out deeply for 3 times. So deeply in, deeply out. Feel on the inside of your nostrils. In, out. Last time, in and out, and go back to B3. Now let's do it again. But now also observe yourself. What is happening? What is the effect of this technique? Again, deeply in and deeply out for 3 times at your own pace. Focus on the inside of your nostrils, very important. Alright, back to B3. Notice the effect. and learn from your own experience. And again, 3 times B2. Fill your lungs with oxygen. Release. And back to B3. So while doing this, you probably notice that there's a little bit less room for thinking. But it also creates more calmness. And maybe a bit more relaxation. Also a very simple technique, but this technique is stronger, more effective because you're focusing on the inside of your nostrils, making it very specific. And for the last time, do it again. Deeply in and deeply out for 3 times. And back to B3. And the longer this session takes, the harder it gets to stay present, to keep your concentration. So that is where we are training for, to create more concentration, to create more mindfulness energy. Okay, now again, open your eyes. So this was the second breathing technique, a very simple one, very effective, but yet it's quite hard to remind yourself of these techniques. So B2 is a deep inhalation and exhalation. Again, it keeps you present, like all the other techniques that I will teach you. This technique regulates. So when you feel, for example, a lot of tension in the body, it regulates that tension and will give you relaxation. So when you take a moment now for yourself, are you more calm? Just the mind a little bit more quiet. And that is the effect of the two techniques that we just did. And it also releases, so it will help you to let go, and I will explain about that later on during this session. Now let's continue with the first breathing technique, the most obvious one. So the first breathing technique is a short, shallow, powerful and quickly breathing technique. So you inhale and exhale powerfully and quickly. So what are we going to do is to breathe in quickly, powerfully, a bit more superficially, and this technique goes like this. So I will close my eyes, and it looks a bit funny maybe, but this technique is very effective. So I'm closing my eyes, and this is the first breathing technique, in and out quickly. So like this, and while doing this, I'm focusing again on the inside of my nostrils, and I can play a little bit with the pace. So I can do it quickly and very strongly, or I can do it very softly and gentle. So this is very strong, like this, or I can do it a little bit more subtle, or even just I can do it for one time and without anybody else noticing it, like this, bringing my mind back to the present moment again. So let's do this technique together, and then later on I will explain how to use this technique and also about B2 and B3. Okay, but first let's practice. So close your eyes. Now let's try this technique for 5 times. In and out, quickly and strongly. Starting now. Then back to B3. So when you use this technique, there is no room for thinking at all. So let's do it again. 5 times again. In and out at your own pace. Don't forget to feel on the inside of your nostrils while doing this. And observe your thoughts as well while doing this. Your mind, the calmness of your mind. Let's do it again, a bit more subtle this time. Starting now, 5 times. Back to B3. Now let's do it again. Now 3 times B1, 3 times B2, and then back to B3. Okay, start now. B2. At your own pace. Feel your inner nostrils. Back to B3. Stay with your breathing, stay present. And this morning I gave some teachings to someone else, and he said, like, I could not sleep during this night. I constantly woke up. I woke up very early, and after that I could not sleep anymore because I was worrying all the time about his work. And he says, I could not stay with my breath. I tried and tried, but I could not remain with my nostrils. So I asked him, did you apply the other techniques as well? He said, oh no, of course, I totally forgot. I said, did you apply B1 and B2 to overcome your worries, your overthinking? He said, no, that's a good one. He said, I should use these techniques, but I totally forgot them. He practiced mainly on B3. You see, B3 is quite subtle, and it's already pretty hard to remain there. But when we get challenged by difficulties, such as worrying, then we need a stronger technique, a less subtle technique. So, and that is B2 and B1. So every time you start to worry, in his case, I said you have to apply B1. Yeah, you have to do it 5 times, maybe 8 times, maybe even more, to stop with thinking. So in his case, when you start to worry, what he should do is B1, like this. Actually, you're saying to yourself, stop worrying, stop thinking. You don't give any room for thinking anymore. Then you can relax yourself by using B2. And then you can continue with B3. Then the mind is maybe a little bit more calm, but when your worry is that strong, then you need to repeat these techniques again. Then again, one. Like this. Back to B3. So these techniques, B1 and B2, help you to overcome your difficulties. So you get more control of the situation. Now maybe you're sitting like this, sitting with your breath, and maybe this is the first time that you're practicing this long. And you probably get challenged by certain things. Maybe you feel very restless because you're sitting still and you're not used to sit like this long. Now I know this feels uncomfortable, but now try to apply one of the other techniques, B1 or B2, to overcome that restlessness, to calm it. And in that case, when you feel restless, you might want to try B2. So let's do that together. B2, deeply in, and then out. Relaxing yourself. Again, in, and out. Last time, the in, and then the out. Back B3. So I'm teaching you how to overcome these difficulties. And that's why we need a session that takes a little bit longer, not practicing only 5 minutes, which is a good thing by the way. During this course I will bring you and give you, push you a little bit further into practice so that you will have more benefits. Okay, you can open your eyes again. And quickly again observe yourself. What's your impression when you just started this session and right now? Might be a bit calm, or you have to deal with certain challenges at this moment. So when we take a look at the first breathing technique, it makes you present. You get more control of the situation, especially when you're challenged by difficulties, difficult situations. And this technique also wakes you up, saying, come back to the here and now. Be present, although the present moment can be quite tough. But you can only overcome difficulties when you are present. So that you can take care of the situation. And it also helps you to stop yourself or withstand something. Stop yourself. For example, you are angry, you want to react, you want to curse, or you want to yell. Then you can use, for example, this technique very well. Saying stop Niels from acting, stop with hurting other people or hurting myself. And it's the same thing what you do when you are overthinking. You use this technique to stop with thinking. Or when you have pain somewhere in the body, or you deal with sickness or illness that you cannot control, you cannot get rid of it, and then you can soften the pain with this technique. B1, also B2, of course. Sometimes you do not have to apply B1. B2 is already strong enough, and then go back to your anchor B3, your home base. So when we take a look at all these three basic techniques, B1, and we started with B3, our home base, makes us present, makes us more aware. Then we can use B2 to regulate it, to relax ourselves, also when we get challenged by our problem points. And then we have B1, the strongest technique. This is where we are going to play with these three basic mindfulness techniques. And we are going to practice them now. And I want you to stay with B3. And when you cannot stay with B3 any longer, for whatever reason, I want you to use B2 or B1. And then I want you to come back to B3 when that's possible again. And of course, when you stay with B3, try to stay there no matter what, and try to remind yourself of your breathing all the time. Okay, one more time, our last practice for this session. Let's practice these three techniques. Close your eyes. Starting with your home base, B3. And after this session, I also got some homework for you. Then, of course, you need to practice these techniques in your daily life. And that's why you can find all your study material on our online platform. And the free session is, the first session is for free. And that study material really helps you to go through this 10 weeks. So you exactly know with your practice schedule what to do every day. You can even look back to this session, watching the recordings. And you will get a lot more. You can also find a lot more modules that support your practice. And there's even an opportunity to practice together online every Wednesday evening. But that for later. For now, I want you to stay with your breathing. Try to stay here as long as possible. When you get challenged by your thoughts or something else, feelings of anxiety, other kinds of emotions, then use B1 or B2. And during the last 5 minutes, I want you to do it on your own. Practice your new techniques. You're doing great. Don't forget your breathing techniques. Don't sit there only and just thinking, letting the mind wander. Actively apply your techniques. Don't aim for calmness. Aim for your mindfulness techniques. Put these techniques on number one, your first priority. This might be difficult for you, but I really support you and invite you to stay for these 10 weeks. To keep practicing. Then after 10 weeks you can be proud of yourself. You get a lot of information, you will learn a lot during these 10 weeks. And this course has the power to really change you for the better, in a positive way. So try to make that commitment for yourself. So no matter what, I will do this practice for 10 weeks and then I will see what it will bring me. Okay, now you can apply B2. Breathe in deeply and breathe out, relax. And again, deeply in and deeply out. Deeply in, deeply out. In and open your eyes slowly. Well done. I'm very proud of you. Go back to B3. Try to stay with B3 now in this moment. And you can look around a bit in your environment. Stay with B3, and if you feel more calm, enjoy the calmness. During the last 10 minutes, there's a little bit more space for a question and answer. So feel free to ask for a question. And we also will put a link below to